Thank you. Yesterday, the state government confirmed that they will be bringing back the electric car tax, despite being warned that a road user tax on clean cars introduced without other support could discourage their uptake and impede greenhouse gas cuts. My question to the Treasurer is, why is South Australia following the flawed Victorian approach to implementing a tax on electric cars when 25 organisations, including global auto manufacturers Volkswagen and Hyundai, and policy experts, leading commentators, Mr President, say, including the Electric Vehicle Council and the Australia Institute, have called it the worst electric vehicle policy in the world?
The Treasurer has the call.
President. Mr President, the state government's position has been quite clear since last year, and since then there's been growing momentum around Australia towards the implementation of a road user charge, a recognition of the inevitable. It is not just the Victorian government, the New South Wales government in the last week has now confirmed the proposed introduction of a road user charge. So, Mr President, the two biggest jurisdictions in the nation, Mr President, have recognised the inevitability of where we're heading. One can, Mr President, try and prevent the tide coming in relation to this particular issue, Mr President, but the reality is we're going to move to a future where inevitably virtually every vehicle in the nation will be an electric vehicle of some type or another. And, Mr President, the reality of that means that the motor fuel excise, which currently funds the maintenance of roads and the upgrade of roads, Mr President, will disappear as a funding source for road maintenance and upkeep. And those who wish can choose to ignore the reality, but those who are prepared to accept the reality, including Labor and Liberal governments interstate, Mr President, and including this government, are prepared to commence that particular debate. As I said last year, ultimately it's a decision for each of the individual parliaments. Mr President, the Victorian Parliament, even with a significant crossbench representation, the Legislative Council supported the introduction of the road user charge. Time will tell whether or not the New South Wales Parliament, which also has significant crossbench representation in the upper house, will support the introduction of a road user charge in New South Wales. This Parliament, Mr President, will have the opportunity to express its view. But as I said last year when we first raised this particular issue, whatever the decision of this Parliament, Mr President, mark my words, Mr President, as I sail off into the political sunset, it is inevitable. There will have to be a road user charge because otherwise there will be no funding source for roads and road maintenance in the future.
Supplementary on Mr Sims.
The Treasurer referenced the New South Wales example in his reply. Well, why did the government not follow the New South Wales approach, which properly supports the EV industry and delays the introduction of an EV tax until 2027?
Well, Mr President, the honourable member hasn't actually seen the legislation that's been introduced yet, and the New South Wales legislation is not exactly as he's characterised it. He actually has omitted an important caveat to that. It is either 2027 or when they reach 30% of the market, whichever comes sooner. So if you reach 30% of the market, however that's going to be defined, and we'll need to see the legislation. If we need to see the legislation in relation to that, Mr President, it could be sooner than that. So, Mr President, all I can say to the honourable member, stay tuned, hold your breath, let's have a look at what the government introduces, and we look forward to engaging in the debate.